right from the start, they're MFing you. You're going to kick it up one. And then they get, face to face. Then it's about to go to blows, right? Because you're about to go hands on and put this dude in the cuffs. Then they step it up. You're going to step it up one more. You're always trying to stay ahead, staying on top so that you can make it home every night to your family.
Do you think escalation of that escalation? Do you think that escalation though? Do you think that's because as a, right now I'm a flight attendant, and if I escalate I escalate situations like that, because I'm authority on the plane. I'm literally the authority. Like that's it's weird to say, but like I'm an authority. But we have to, like, if they start MFing me, and then I bring that same intensity back to them. It's just it's like an alpha male type thing. You're just gonna keep going until it pops. Mm-hmm. But I think it'd be. But so what I've learned through other ways is that actually it's tripping me out. What's happening? Oh, sorry. So what I've learned is that instead of escalating all the way up, like you said, talk them into it. And I think that actually not puffing out your chest, not you, but just in general, will get you home a lot more often than it would to be the bigger or to be the more brolic dude. And I think that's what cops typically don't do. It's just always attack.
It depends on the situation.
Right.
Yeah. I was going to say that could be both sides of,
but we're not the trained professional, though.
So that kid from just graduated high school who became a cop, he's not a trained professional. He don't have life experience.
But he has a gun.
Yeah, he got a gun in the back.
That don't mean anything. I'll tell you a story. I arrested this dude.
Well, let me ask you this before we jump in this story. So that's kind of like I don't know what do they call that? Like the rule of one. Like I'm always gonna have one up on you.
No, it's the escalation of force.
Okay, which I kind of agree with because I guess like you said, it's depending on what the situation is. Is that person I'm talking to? Is he responsive? Is he listening to what I'm saying? Are we listening to each other? Because if he's not, if he's just shut down, he's staring at me in my face like,
right.
I'm
then knock
waiting,
him out.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for you to shut the fuck up so I can punch you. Mm-hmm. And all right, then I'm gonna be on my back foot, ready to step back and sidestep something. Because if he's not even hearing what I'm trying to tell him, so we can de-escalate the situation, then automatically, I'm assuming that cop's gonna be like, well, this motherfucker's about to come at me pretty soon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is I'm assuming is why you guys always have like at least 5 feet away from everybody when you're talking to them.
Yeah.
Right.
I think
you don't walk up to them like in a bar like you would like if you're in a bar fight.
Like, hey fool,
bitch, hit me. I swear to God, I'll punch you right now, motherfucker.
Because you always got to assume that they got a gun or some kind of weapon.
Right.
well that in itself typically keeps people at bay because they see you got a badge and a gun. You got a badge and a gun. That badge and a gun don't make me. You know, that's all you see.
They profile
uniform.
you. They profile you. Like, oh, he got a badge and a gun. His first reaction is going to be to pull that gun.
So the story was this guy, I got 4 different calls on this dude being drunk in public. Mm-hmm. And I'm I'm giving the dude the benefit of the doubt. Hey,
yeah, Rich, was that you?
Rick?
No. And I was giving him the benefit. Hey, dude, just out of sight, out of mind. Go home.
Yeah.
I'll even give you a ride home. Didn't want to. So eventually, after so many times, I'm losing. I could be doing other things versus coming to mess with this dude where he could be at his own house getting drunk or whatever it may be.
Right.
I ended up arresting him. And he basically said, because you got that badge and a gun, if you didn't have that badge and a gun, I'll beat your ass.
Damn.
Right?
I said that to a cop before.
I told him, and this is what I told him. And I told the guy, I said, sir, I promise you one thing. This is a promise. When I take you downtown, we're going to be in a room together. And I'm going to take that handcuffs off. It ain't going to be this badge and gun kicking your ass. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not the badge and the gun that's going to be fighting. It's going to be me and him.
You're right.
And then he was like, oh, man, I'm just playing with you. I'm just checking you. I says, I'm a grown-ass man. I don't need you checking me.
Yeah.
I says, you don't know me.
Last time I said that to a cop, though, I was behind a fucking cop car. Motherfucker started billy clubbing me. You bitch ass motherfucker! I was calling him, and then he called my mom, and my sister-in-law.
Then you got more
They
scared.
came down. No, I was
You got
pissed,
more scared.
dude.
Your mom come
I
down.
was slamming my head against the fucking rail. Don't believe this motherfucking faggot and this and that. I was banging my head against the fucking wire fucking thing, and that shit fucking hurt me even more. You know what I
You a
mean?
crazy motherfucker.
But I was
bro.
like, man, I will fuck him up.
They
And
need-
when I seen him outside of his badge, though, I called him to fucking fight. He didn't want to fight.
Because he already knows how crazy you are, bro.
instant,
You just gotta call your mom, dog. That's
instant
it.
aggression.
Yeah, no, he called my mom, dude. I was yelling and cussing at my mom, like, don't believe that motherfucker. He's fucking lying to you, because he was. He was saying that I did some shit at another hotel and this and that. And I was like, man, fuck that shit. Like, I broke windows and shit like that. I might have.
But back to what Richie was saying, a cop does. They need to realize that. And there's been plenty of times where this dude is stepping it up, and I come back, hey, before you get froggy, let me explain it to you. You just got to be able to talk, and that's what I think. That was always my deal when I had somebody in my car that I was training. You know, you train them how they should be trained, not just be responsive to the radio. You should train them to be, a man of many different hats.
Right.
You
Yeah.
may be a doctor one day. You may be a counselor one day. You may need to put on a riot helmet one day.
I think that's what we want
Yeah.
as a citizen, right?
Yeah.
That's what you would want, but that's not what we think when
But
the
then
moment comes.
And that's what a lot of the community looks at a cop for, is they're going to fix everything. You know what I mean? Hey, I got a problem at home. I'm going to call the cops. No, it's a parenting problem. You need to whoop your son's or daughter's ass.
Yeah.
I'm with that. I'm glad
So,
you said that.
And I would tell her, I went to the house because it was a disturbance at a home, which are pretty much one of the most dangerous calls that a cop can go to, because you're going into that environment. You're going
Right.
into their home. You don't know what's in their home. And they said, oh, well, they're acting out. They're talking back, and they're not listening to me. I said, did you beat their ass?
They're probably like, whoa.
They're like, am I allowed to do that? So I think, people have this they have this perceived thing that, if you discipline your child, I'm going to go to jail, because they're not whooping that kid's ass. Then that kid says, oh, you know what? I got rights. I'm going to call the police, because you abused me.
No, the police is cool with that. Believe me, I took my kids to the police station, and I told the police officer, tell these motherfuckers I can fuck them up. You know what I mean? The police officer told him straight up, your dad can take your door off the walls, beat your ass, take away your TV, your cell phones, and this and that, and get away with it. But and I'm thinking in the back of my head, but this motherfucker ain't CPS though. Because CPS is a whole different ballgame.
That's true.
So now that you're not in the unit you were in before, and do you work with any of the programs that, like, Jonathan said, spoke with, or have you been to any of those programs?
I personally haven't, but I know what the programs that he's talking about, because it's real rich there in National City. I know that back in the days, we were responsible for, like, my unit was responsible, and this came from this was more that community-oriented policing, which a lot of agencies are trying to go to, is, hey, you need to be involved in the community.
Yeah.
That's a great thing.
So
Yeah.
every squad had its own, like, we were responsible for our own elementary or high school.
Yeah.
And we would have to go there, give presentations, and discuss, safety or gang stuff, tagging stuff, whatever it may be.
Traffic.
Yeah, traffic, if they're driving, whatever it may be. Stuff to keep them safe, to be alert for as a parent. If you see your child doing this, or if you start seeing this type of behavior, you need to stay on top of that.
Address
If
it.
not, so I think that's what made that agency kind of change its image. Because before it was known as a Wild West, good old boys and, heavy-handed, will beat the shit out of you and, call it a day.
Yeah.
Right.
But now I think, given the times, it's all, it's all based on the community.
Where are some of the programs that you attended, like the Game Changers and all that stuff?
Uh-huh.
Where are they located at?
Right.
They change depending on who hosts us. Wherever, like, so Sean and Embrace, they do a lot of it's getting a lot of publicity now, so people just kind of offer their space. I don't know exactly how that works, but it changes each time we go somewhere.
So it might be like at a restaurant, then it might be like at a hall. Or...
The hall, usually halls, yeah.
Okay.
Hotel room, hotel like, lobbies and
Or
shit,
ballroom
or like
or whatnot,
fucking
yeah.
ballrooms and shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
And-
How many people go there?
She's like, man, I would say like 15, 25, maybe 30 people.
Okay, so
I
it's
never
not-
really count them.
it's not too big.
Not really.
No,
big,
no, it's
like,
like it's just enough people that the conversation never stops. There's always enough
That's a good
people in the crowd because there's some kids, there's some like high school kids come,
Oh, cool.
but they're not the most vocal or most verbose, so they just kind of just sit there and watch and add tidbits. But for them to be part of the experience is cool. It goes, it's like the range is huge, like. Just a huge demographic that comes, and you get a lot of perspective from every inch of our community, which is great.
What's the last one you attended?
Shit.
Or what was the location?
It's in Point Loma.
Okay.
It stays in like San Diego. But right now, actually, they just got recorded by like the NFL program. Like, Sean went to like Ohio, and then they filmed one out there.
Okay.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
So it's starting to branch up big now. I think they had like 34 of them now or something.
34 different branches?
No, 34 events so far.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
It's just it's a dope program.
And so do like the cops from each city come, or do they have like a special guest speaker? Like, do they have the chief of police, or
She's been there.
she's been there?
Yeah. What's her name? She
For
has-
San Diego?
yeah, she has the short brown hair.
Yeah.
She retired now or something. But she's came a few times and
The one that goes to PIFA all the time.
yeah, that lady. Yeah.
Zimmerman.
Well, Zimmerman, she's still the chief of police.
It might be her.
Okay.
Then. Oh, then yeah, she's been a few times, once or twice at least.
So you have people from the police department there.
We've
and
had
then,
border patrol. We've had fucking the harbor patrol. We've had I don't know, a number. Like we had dude, one time was so dope. There's this one guy, because I was going heads up with the cops, like just going back and forth. And then there's one gentleman, African American, bald, his eyes were yellowed. It looked like he's been through some shit, right? And I was like, fuck, he looks familiar. But I was like, oh, whatever. Maybe I've just seen him around. And he said it turns out he was a veteran, and he served in Afghanistan. And he brought up the point of like the escalation of force. And he said, how come we were trained? How come people here on our homeland? So he's comparing it to like the rules of engagement overseas, how they cannot fire upon somebody unless they aim the rifle or whatever.
Okay.
Versus here, where there's kids like Trayvon Trayvon, but
Him too.
fuck's that? What's that? The 12-year-old kid that got shot underneath the gazebo.
Oh, Cleveland?
Oh yeah, fuck, I can't remember his
I
name.
don't know his name, but I know you're talking about.
Yeah, he was just playing by himself in the park, and then cops roll up onto the grass, popped him.
He
within,
had a
like,
gun.
2
Did he have a fake gun or something?
He had a fake
Or
gun.
a toy gun or something
Yeah,
like
a
that?
toy gun,
yeah,
but
yeah.
like the rules of engagement overseas is like they get until the guy pulls the gun. And he brought up this amazing point, and it kind of floored. And he also he delivered it so well. But he made a phenomenal point where it kind of wowed everybody. Like everybody shut the fuck up, and then everyone's just kind of sat there and thought. And then the moderator's like, all right, we'll just take a break right here. Everybody just sit on that. And then Sean came over to me. He's like, walked me over to him. He's like, John, do you remember this man? Does he look familiar to you? I was like, yeah, he does. I just can't place him. And the guy looked at me too, and he's like, yeah. And then he's like, you're the one with the camera. And it dawned on me. In like 2010 to like 2012, I was like twice a week, we'd go out into downtown and feed the homeless. And this guy was a coach. He worked at whatever, I forgot where he was working. Now. But when I came, he was, when Sean introduced me, he was like, you've served him.
Oh, really?
And I was like, yo. Like, this guy was a homeless man, and now he's sitting across from, like, beside us, and he's teaching everybody in this room something.
Right.
And
Oh,
so,
that's
like,
awesome.
that's, like, one of the most amazing experiences, like game changers can do, is just, like, it floored me. Like, yo,
Yeah.
like, I literally served this homeless man food, and now he's beside me teaching me something.
Yeah.
And now he's like, because
Yeah.
then he even mentioned, he's like, yeah, I remember you. my memory's a little foggy back then. I was just like, fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Game
awesome.
Changer is dope because you get experiences like that.
Yeah. That's. I mean, shit. I don't know what I would do if I saw that. But
Yeah.
that's awesome to hear for sure.
Yeah, it was amazing, man. Blew my fucking mind. I was like, damn. I have a picture. It's on my Instagram.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's a dude where I'm like pointing at him. That's the guy.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll check that
it's
out.
fucking
Yeah.
sick. It's fucking yeah.
Was that like a while ago?
It's middle last year maybe.
Okay.
I don't
Damn.
know. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know where you're going with that story, but shit, that's pretty awesome.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great story.
You never know who you're talking to.
Exactly.
And
So
My
maybe
point was is continuous learning from both sides.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's the point that we wanted to get to
Right.
for this episode.
Well,
at least.
yeah. For the conversation was because I mean we all know each other outside of whatever we do, you know, in our normal 9 to 5 or whatever the case is, and I mean I've had run-in with cops. I've had bad experiences, but I've always put it on myself. I used to blame the cops. Like, these motherfuckers just be fucking with me. But then they look at the situation like, nah,
That was pretty stupid.
I was pretty fucking stupid. Pretty fucking drunk. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, and so I just tell people, you know, like, just make sure you be respectful in that environment. Don't just assume that you're gonna be a dickhead just because they're a cop. Like, if my grandma was there, I wouldn't say half the shit I would say to a cop back then. You know what I mean? Like, so just pretend like your parents are there. You know, if you would be respectful to that person, if your parents were there, then just that's how I say it. I see it. But now I'm just a little bit older and I don't even have time for that shit.
That's because you got 2 kids too.
That's what I keep saying. Even if it's fake, it's not even a real emotion. Just humble it, go home, and then make that complaint the next day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Most important thing is just go home.
Yeah.
Oh no, I got an ego trip.
Yeah. So that's why people.
Well, you're a different breed, yo.
I got an ego
That's
trip.
why people get shot, bro.
No,
Oh goodness.
yeah, no, I had really good experiences with cops, and I had really bad experiences with cops. I still love them, I still hate them. You know what I mean? It's a love-hate kind of thing.
Just like people. You have really good experiences.
Exactly.
Yeah, really bad ones.
I still have good and bad experiences with cops.
Dude, you're not doing your fucking job. Write the ticket.
So what happens? Let me ask you, J-Dub. Let me ask you this. Like, and this is one of the situations I think happened recently with that high school kid that got slammed.
Oh, he looks.
It's a girl, right?
Yeah, dude. I saw that video.
Yeah, it was
I
like,
didn't see it.
yeah. I mean, I think that's what pisses people off. Really, is like when you see things like that, like a handcuffed person get slammed to the ground.
Yeah,
and they're
especially
like,
a young kid.
You know, 140 pounds less than you. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, come on, man.
I'd say look at the whole story. And I saw this thing on you may have posted it, Jonathan. It was
Most
about
likely.
it was about a kid about assaults, and he explained to the cop describe what an assault is. He's like, yeah, it's beating the shit out of a handcuffed person. That's an assault. Yeah, it essentially is, but look at the whole picture. How do you know what happened beforehand? Before you saw all the cameras are out right now.
They come out late.
What happened beforehand? What did that person do to cause that incident? For instance, and I was going to use this as an example. I'm arresting this person. They're belligerent. They're angry, obviously, because he's going to jail or she's going to jail. I put them in handcuffs. Before they go into the car, they're being searched because they're not having anything in their pockets. There have been multiple times where people had guns in their pants pockets behind, handcuffed, and they're in a squad car. That happened to me personally, I know.
Oh, wow.
So, patting a dude down, searching them, put their stuff on. As you're putting them into the car, right now, because people see that somebody's getting arrested, they see the lights, they start filming. That person grabs that cop by the balls and starts yanking and squeezing really hard. Are you going to say, sir, please stop pulling my balls? Don't do that to me.
Yeah, no,
or are
I'm
you going to
throwing an
react and dank that dude and knock him out?
Hell
Or slam
yeah.
him to the ground or whatever it may be.
Yeah, I'll probably grab his balls.
So,
You liked it now, you motherfucker. You liked it, right?
but you're going
Let go. Hurry up.
But that's what
Blue balls,
you're gonna
blue
see.
balls.
Cop grabs handcuffed man's balls. That's what it's gonna be titled, because I guarantee you, all those videos are going to the media. But they don't know what happened
Yeah, the
beforehand.
media is fucked up, though.
They don't know what
Yeah,
happened
And
they're
I
the
beforehand.
totally
worst.
agree with that. So I don't because there's a ton of videos of the police videos. There's a fucking ton of them. But I try really hard I don't post anything until
You study the video
until
yourself.
until I make a decision like, okay, yeah, no, that fucker deserves to get his ass beat.
Yeah.
Or like, yo, that was fucked up. Like it was Tamir Rice. That was the kid's name. Also, another example would be John Crawford, the third. The guy standing in Walmart. He pulled the BB gun off of a shelf, and he was walking with it along. He was holding it by the butt, and it was pointed down, and he was standing in the corner of a Walmart. Those are fucking big. He was in the corner by himself, and then a cop comes, pop, 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 shoots him.
That's kind of suspect, though. It's scary.
He was on. See, also he was on the phone with his mom. He was on the phone with his mom with the gun on his side, just talking, and then his mom heard her son die.
Yeah.
And so like things like that, like so there are times when there are episodes where that shit looks fucked up, but that kid deserved it. Like he earned it, not deserved it. He earned it. He earned his ass beating. Because you cannot touch a cop under no circumstance. Like, fuck, that's stupid.
Yeah.
You will get your ass beat. So, but like, you know, in instances with John Crawford or Castile, Fernando Castile, who told the cop, hey, the guy who got shot on Facebook Live.
Oh, yeah.
Sir, I have a firearm. Get your wallet. Sir, I have a firearm. Whoa, what up? Boom, 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 boom. Like those, like we did see. So yes, there are moments when you do have to like, we don't know what's happening. We don't know. But then there are instances where it's like, yo, that was fucked up.
But a lot of that stuff you see is Monday night quarterbacked. Monday night quarterback. Put yourself, all right, and I'm looking at it. Being a cop, it sucks because you got to make split decisions.
Instantaneous.
Right.
Life
decisions.
or death. Yep.
Life or death. And it may take somebody's life.
Mine versus yours.
And what did I say in the beginning of the show? I am going home every night to my family. I'm not going to be killed on the street by some dude who had a fake gun or a real gun. I don't know that. And when you get that call, because I guarantee the call came out, man with a gun in Walmart.
Right, exactly.
Right, it was,
Yeah,
absolutely. 100%.
What is that cop's alert level going to be? Through the roof.
Yeah.
And the guy could have had the gun by his side, and all it has to do is make a slight movement.
It was
What's that cop going to do? Blast him. Because why? I'm going home every night. I'm going home, regardless. If it means me taking your life, you know, God bless it. You know, I'm going home.
And I understand that. That's hella. Like, yo, if anyone came up in here, it would be no questions asked, and I'd knock them out or hit them or do whatever I can to take them out before they hurt you. But
I see that though too. Like, I'm sorry for cutting you off.
No, good.
But it's like they get this call. They tell them, you know, armed man at Walmart and this and that. The other guy could have been threatening customers, you know what I mean? Like, oh, I'll shoot you, this and that. Because he could have been either schizo or stuff like that, you know what I mean?
mental health issue, right?
Yeah, mental health issues. And they could have got this call, but I don't know. I really think that cops, instead of using lethal force in the beginning, I think they should always go from hand-to-hand combat. You know that's not going to work.
You don't know what's going to happen. They might have the gun quicker than you, like.
Right.
What if it's a man with a gun call?
It's a stun gun. You know what I mean?
Well,
Go
what if
to
it's a
stun
man
gun.
with a gun call? Are you gonna risk your life
Not going
because
home.
you don't know if that's a real gun or not?
Right.
I don't know, man.
And that's why I
you gotta be a
empathize with
good
it so
ass
much.
shot. You know what I mean?
So that's what I'm saying. Because regardless, I don't know if that's a toy gun. Just like that cop with the little kid in
Samir.
Cleveland, he had a gun and he was pointing it at people. How they got like 7 different calls
Right.
of a little kid with a gun pointing it at people as they drive by.
Yeah.
Cops come up there, kid had the gun, he pulled it out of his waistband. Are you gonna risk that that's a real gun or a fake gun?
I don't know, man. I never been in the situation.
that's-
Well, I've been in
that's-
situations.
that's
you know what I
why-
mean, but
Yeah, we're not gonna put that out there.
Well,
Not as a
let's
cop.
say if someone said, "Hey, man, there's a guy with a gun at the park," you know what I mean? Like, are you gonna go there with a fucking knife?
See, some of the
no,
so
you
one of the
go there with a gun, yeah, or a bigger gun.
A bazooka.
one of the critiques on both the John Crawford and I follow this shit a lot, right? The John Crawford and the Tamir Rice incident or deaths were that there was a lack of communication between. So the Tamir Rice, there was a phone. One of the 911 calls was like, I think it's a toy gun, but there's a kid in the park waving a gun around, but I think it's a toy gun. But then that didn't get transferred to the cop from the dispatch to the cop or whatever that trail is.
Yeah.
And so the cops, they did think this guy, but they did roll up on dude though. Did you see the video?
Yeah.
Like he was in the park, like, and they drove up onto the grass. He fell out the car and shot him.
Yeah.
Like to me, that's where the training or something could have been different.
Because that's if you read, we get all the debriefs. We read all those. So the kid went for his
He
waistband.
did this, yeah.
And was
Yeah,
pulling
he did. He pulled up his shirt, and then yeah, he got.
So,
fucking
but that's
clacked.
what I'm saying. Are you?
It's
gonna-
instantaneous. Yeah,
as
no,
a-
I get it.
yeah,
I totally get it. But I'm saying like the lead up to that.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a Swiss cheese, right? Like all the holes have to be aligned for it to go all the way through for that problem to exist. If any one of those things like that dispatch was like, hey, be aware, it might be a kid with like a toy, or if that person, like or if they didn't drive up on the beach or onto the grass and scare him, like any one of those things could have like prevented this kid from being killed.
Yeah.
And that's where I think a lot of people have an issue with, or at least that's where I have the issue with, is that like, yes, I totally understand. It's like me over you 100%. But there's got to be better ways to deal. There's got to be something we can change where it's not a continuous, that we're not being like bored of people dying on Facebook anymore.
Yeah.
And that's where I stand. Like there has to be something, because I get it. I fucking get it. Yeah, shoot first, but to save yourself. But I mean, there's got to be
It's not necessarily
something.
shoot first.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where we got to draw that line. It's not shoot 1st. It's I'm processing everything in my head that I know to be true,
All right.
and the
And
further
then-
movement.
yeah.
It's that movement that says, "Oh shit, I might get shot." I'm gonna draw it out there first.
And that's why I said like, so the reason to me,
But how do you train that?
I know, but that's like I don't know, but see, it's just the steps up to it. Like John Crawford, like if there has to be another way before surprising a man and shooting him. Like I can't just sit and believe like this is it, because this is what in Game Changers. That's one of the things. Is like this is just how it goes. I'm like, like
Yeah.
there's got to be a way we can't.
The way to
that
do
we
it
don't die.
is you have the SWAT team going there, has bulletproof everything on.
Nah,
You know what I mean?
they ain't got
And
no
walk
money
up
for
to 'em
that.
Like, hey, you gonna shoot somebody or not? Hey, can I see a gun real fast? Is it fake? I
Yeah,
don't
see-
know.
see,
They could do something like that though.
No, I was on SWAT for 7 years, and it doesn't work that way.
You can walk.
You still get
because-
shot in the SWAT, man. They can protect you.
Yeah, just
No,
because,
but,
just because
okay.
you have all that gear, you're still that same person underneath.
You got a bulletproof vest on.
I ain't taking no shot for that bullshit.
I don't know. I think I would.
It's
I
because
don't
like
know.
so the reason Tamir Rice resonates with me so much is that when I was a kid, when I was like I was young, I was like in elementary school. My roommates, we had a 2-bedroom apartment. Our roommate had a family, and the dad got the son a BB gun. He was like a year or 2 years older than me, and we were in our parking lot, in the corner of our parking lot, behind the trees, behind the bushes, away from everybody else, shooting cans, right? Like little kids. We got a new toy here. Click, click, click. Click, 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 pop, like pop, pump, 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 click. And then before we know it, you get the fuck on the fuck, get the fucking floor. We got pushed by these 2 cops, and I'm like his age or whatever, like, and I have a gun in my face. The reason why I'm like super, if you ever like, I'm super like excited, like if something moves, I'm ready to fight, is because this is like the first and the last time that I ever allowed myself to be frozen in fear. Because the cop had a gun right to our face, and I had rollerblades on. They were purple and yellow, and I'm staring down the barrel of a gun. I'm like, and I cried. I just stood there and cried because I didn't know what the fuck to do.
Yeah, because your ass could have been dead.
Yeah, but see, and
That should have been Dad's fault, beating your ass. Don't be shooting BB guns in the backyard.
fucker wasn't around. Hold up, nah. No, but that's why like Tamir Rice is like so like. If I was darker, if I wasn't Filipino and I was black, like would I have survived that encounter?
Yes.
Like,
I'm
well,
telling
Tamir
you,
Rice,
yes.
is like there's instances like it's just, and so the reason why I was doing the sounds like you can what this fuck you can hear it pump 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 click, right? Like what a BB gun sounds like.
But that guy, that cop coming up on you, does he know that that's a BB gun? I'm saying, does he know that?
You can. So the reason I'm saying the sound, you can hear the pump 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 pump.
But did that cop hear that?
So the situation was situational awareness is that we did not see them coming. They were hiding behind a wall, like right before they came up, and you can assess the situation before you rush in head first. like any warrior, you know, you can assess the situation right before you, like, if you have a moment, and then we all had our backs completely towards them, you can like just look, and you can your sound, your hearing, you can hear the pump click, hear the little toy men falling, or hear the cans falling. You see that with little kids. Any of these number of these things can, like, you know, maybe we don't have to come guns out.
If it's a gun call, you're gonna go guns out. I'm telling you right now.
National City.
If
Yeah.
give it
Good old days.
and keep in mind that environment of National City.
Uh-huh.
Highland details. Every corner was a stabbing, shooting fight. Stabbing, shooting fight. Every Sunday night. That's just how National
Charger
City
Sunday.
was.
Yeah.
But you don't know that the cop was waiting behind the wall. We don't know that unless you physically saw them.
We saw him peeking around the last second.
But they could have just gotten there and saw little kids with a gun.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, are you going to, as the cop, are you going to take that chance? Are you going to take that chance? Regardless if it's a kid or not, take the kid out of it. There's somebody with a gun that I don't know if it's real or fake.
I think, yes, I would. Because you can take a second before you engage to list, like, just hear it. You can hear it's like a BB gun versus a real gun there's a remarkable difference. And, like, I just feel like, you know, there has to be another way than
Right.
Not when it comes to somebody with a gun call.
right.
Regardless if it's a kid. If it is a gun call, you're gonna be alert regardless.
That's crazy.
Regardless.
But you understand, like, you see where I'm trying to say. It's just
No,
like,
I totally
yeah,
see what
okay,
you're saying.
okay,
I
cool.
absolutely see it, but I am not gonna take that chance whether to find out if that's a toy gun or a real gun.
Right.
I'm not gonna take that chance. But there is a lot of things that you can do. Hey, you kid over there, drop whatever it is that you have and come around this corner. And you're gonna get a gun to your face.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
see, this is another thing we also talked about, is that, like, you know, one of the cops, that same cop actually, was just like, you know, these kids now with the NWA and fuck the police have this idea of being.
Why wouldn't even bring that shit up?
It's a whole nut. But he was just like, you know, you guys just are so disrespectful to the cops and blah 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 for no reason. You're not even born in the '90s or raised in the '90s when it was all the violent shit. He's like, so this is just you guys just trying to be cool. And I was like, dude, like, no, like that was my experience as a kid. My hair was still parted over to the side and clean. Like, my mom I had the bowl cut. Like, I didn't learn about the world yet. And that day I did. And then it's like, yeah, these fucking cops, you watch your fucking back because these guys are fucking scary. And so that just, like, it just goes on.
That negative experience has stuck with you to this day. And you can see that aggression when you talk about cops, because you really do not like them, which is understandable because you've had a negative experience with them.
Right.
I've had plenty of it.
No, I mean, because I've had it too.
I've had them.
Mm-hmm.
Me, Dominic, and Mike. This is one of our funnier stories, I guess. Mike and Dominic got in a big old argument. I think Dominic Bloss was there too. We were at a park over there by Regal Edward Cinema, that park that's up there.
Chula Vista?
Yeah. Anyway, there's a park back there. Dom and Mike are actually like arguing, fighting, and I think Dominic's like kicking a trash can. This is like night, 10 o'clock, 10:30, something like that. Kicking a trash can, and you know, like if you kick a trash can in like a canyon area, I hear it's kaboom, kaboom,
right,
kaboom, and it's echoing through the whole thing. Someone called and said that there's someone shooting a gun down in the park. 6 cars roll up, cop cars. We see them all pull them at the same time. Whoop! Flashlights. Get the fuck on the ground. All guns are out. And we fucking just drop. I was like, I'm down. Hands up, I'm down. We're like 18, all of us. And we're like, what the fuck just happened? And they're like, everybody put their hands up. Boom. They start separating us and jump on our backs. They fucking, boom. I just feel this fucking knee. Boom. Right on my fucking back. I was like, oh shit. Fucking, boom. Put me in the handcuffs. They separate us and they start asking us questions. Is there a gun around here? Anybody got a gun? And we're like, no, no one got a gun. And they're like, what the fuck are you guys talking about gun? They're like, we got complaints or we got a call saying there's gunshots coming down from the canyon. And we're like, I was like, nah, man, but that motherfucker was kicking a fucking trash can, right? And they're like, looking at the trash can. They fucking search my car. They go through all that shit. Like, why the fuck are you guys down here in the park? And fucking, you know, they're like, what are you guys doing? And we're like, we're just here. They're arguing, so we got the car so they could fucking argue and not argue in the car. And so, yeah, they were there for like 45 minutes to an hour. They let us go. That was it. And they fucking let us go with Mike and Dominic in the back of the truck.
Right in the back,
Yeah.
the bed.
I was like, my aunt lives right up there, man. I'll go to my aunt's house. They're like, get the fuck out of here. And we're like, all right, fuck this shit.
So you had like, because they told you it was a guy with a gun call.
Yeah.
But you saw how
Intensity.
amped up they were.
Yeah. And they came in. I mean, like I said, we didn't see shit. All of a sudden, we just saw 6 fucking for all angles.
Coordinated,
Boom,
right,
shoom.
yeah.
They zoomed in. Lights were up, and they are all outside their car. And I mean, that was, in the 90s or something like that. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I definitely understand it. Do I agree with Jonathan? I kind of do agree with Jonathan in certain areas. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if it's a kid, I mean, do I want to risk my life? Would I personally do it? No. I wouldn't risk my life. Is there ways you can do it? I don't know. Maybe there is. Maybe fucking grab binoculars and look at that shit way before you fucking even get in there. You know what I mean? Maybe look at
Get the helicopter go.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, oh wait, I think I see an orange tip on that. You
Get
know
a
what I mean?
drone in there or something.
Or you know what I mean? Like, don't fucking give your kid an all black gun and play at the park. I don't know.
But that's what I mean. Even now to this day,
But-
I mean, I get all these intel things. People, and not so much here. This is more like Midwest or East Coast. Guys are taking those super soaker guns. Looks like a toy. They're white and orange and all that stuff, and
And
they're
they're painting
converting
their
them
guns.
real.
Yeah.
They're converting them to shoot 22 long rifle, which kills people.
Yeah.
So even though it looks like a toy, it can kill you.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. So that's why when a cop gets a subject with a gun call, they're going to be through the roof and they're going to do whatever they have to do to go home that night. So you're not going to be able to tell if it's a toy gun or if it's a real gun. Not today, because people are smarter. They're doing things crazier.
So let me ask you this. So then, at that point, what can that civilian do or that person do if he's like just playing with a squirt gun at the park? All
What
of a
if he
sudden,
says it's fake? It's fake.
you know what I mean? Like,
Drop it and do exactly what that cop tells you to do.
yeah, but I mean, what if you
What
don't
if
even
you
get
don't
that?
touch it?
What if you don't get that chance? Like he was saying, like you just roll up on they just pull up on you
Yeah.
and you turn around like this, like what the fuck just happened? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you get scared, you turn around, you're like, oh shit, like and then they just jump out the car, boom, you're done.
Hey, and then that shoot's going to be reviewed by the district attorney's office.
But then that
Whether
kid's
it's
life
good or
is
bad.
still
Yeah.
gone, though. That's the problem.
It is a problem, but are you going to take that chance? That's what I'm saying. Are you going to do it?
They better start fucking taking Nerf guns off the
given
fucking shelf.
what-
You got motherfuckers like John over here that'll blast your ass. Get an apple and throw all that shit away. You're only playing with fishing poles.
Fishing poles and fucking
I'm going home every night.
Yeah.
fuck that, fishing poles and noodles for now on. Fucking pool noodles, man. But I appreciate you guys coming on the
Yeah.
show, and obviously this isn't
We
going
should do a
anywhere.
part 2, definitely.
Yeah, definitely
I
part
think we should
2,
do a
probably part
two.
3, part 4.
Fuck that. Bring in a different
I do
cop.
want to attend.
I love John too much. I can't talk shit to him the way I want to. I love him too much.
I can take it, man. I can take it. I love you guys.
You know what, dude? You're in my garage or my nephew's garage now, you motherfucker. Come here and I'll fuck you up. Don't tell me my kids cannot play with a BB gun in the backyard.
Hey, as long as it's in the backyard, man.
Yeah,
Out of
and
sight, out of mind.
I want to attend the Game Changers. I want to at least attend
Hell yeah,
a couple of those things. I want to see what it's all
Yeah,
about.
Anybody
that'd be
can come out to
awesome
those.
check out. Yeah.
Embrace SD
Embrace SD.
on Instagram, yeah.
Okay, so I'll link all those websites and,
Yeah.
and when the show comes out on Wednesday. John or JW, you have any suggestions for them? What your name, John, motherfucker? JW. For just for the community to if they do have complaints, if they do have issues with anybody out there, where they can make their complaints at, where they should file their complaints at.
If it's with a specific agency, I mean, they obviously all agencies have websites that you can make complaints to or schedule a visit with the chief of police.
You can schedule a visit with Chief of
Oh
Police.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can just call it like, hey, I'm so and so in the community. I have a complaint. I want to talk with the chief.
Don't tell my wife that.
By all means, and like I said, I think a lot of it is if they don't know that that's going on with that specific
Right,
officer or
right,
whatever
right,
it may be, then they're never going to know because how are they going to find out unless I'm with that person and I see it? And that happened to me before, where there was a younger cop who was MFing somebody and they didn't need to. I pulled that dude aside and said, "You better knock that crap off." He subsequently got fired.
Oh shit.
Not because of that incident, but multiple incidents.
Right.
But if that's a solo guy and you're the only one seeing that, nobody's gonna know. He ain't gonna dime himself off.
Right.
You know, I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do. No, you're not. You're being a dick, and you don't have to be. And that stuff needs to be stopped because, again, somebody in New York could do something wrong, and it'll have an effect on the West Coast because it's the uniform, not the person individually. It's the uniform that people look at. And by all means, make those complaints if you feel that you were wronged. I think those help out, and having a knowing of internal affairs background and talking to internal affairs. People that sharks, they're all sharks. They're out to get you. No, they're there to make sure that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. Yeah. Especially when you have such a responsibility wearing that uniform.
Awesome.
So
that's good to know. I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know all that. And that's another thing. I think
Serve
it goes
and
back to also
protect the people.
It also goes back to us not wanting to dime people out. You know what I mean? But honestly, we should. I mean, fuck that shit. We should. If they're bad at their job, they're bad at their job.
Yeah, like anything.
Yeah.
Hey, at some point, everybody snitches. Yeah. Everybody snitches.
Yeah.
Even in the gangs.
There was one more question I had. Shit, I can't remember right now. Oh well. We'll link that too. We'll link some of the stuff for the police department. And I say the same thing, man. I want cops to get home safe too. You know what I mean? I know they're serving the community, and that's a hard job to fucking do, and that's why I'm not one.
I want everybody to get home safe.
Yeah, you know what I mean? That's really what they're out here for. But yeah, man, I just want to thank you guys for coming on the show.
Yes, appreciate it.
We'll definitely have, like you said, Vince, part
definitely
2.
part 2.
Part 3.
I don't think there's enough time in one episode to cover everything that we want to, but I think that's why we're gonna get them back.
Well, we'll start with what we have here, and like I said, I'm gonna probably attend one of the Game Changer things, and check that out.
Dope.
With Jonathan, you gonna take me?
Yeah, with it.
Hey, you gotta go try out behind the police car, dude.
All right.
We'll leave that to you.
Around in the
Hell no, I've been back of police cars 4 times, man. I'm good. I'm fucking done. All right, we're gonna get out of here. Cool.
Yeah.
Are we good?
Good.
All right,
Thanks,
escalators.
Shoots.
No, man, I fucking got a gun drawn at him.
Hey, man.